Awesome.
Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
And we've just agreed she's my new cycle buddy, or I'm her new cycle buddy. We cycle. Anyway, so we're not going to talk about that. We've only got 10 minutes. Sherry, yesterday you were talking about life as a creator, but very quickly, introduce Editorof. What is it? What does it do? Who do you work with?
Awesome. Good morning, everybody. My name is Sherry. I'm the founder of Editorof, and we're a platform that basically helps you, anyone, whether you're a creator or brand, anyone, discover and hire the best creatives. And when I say creatives, I mean people who range from video editors, podcast editors, thumbnail designers, producers, scriptwriters, everything. So think of it a lot like basically anyone that's behind the camera. Where do you go to find them? Right now, obviously, your only options are platforms like Upwork and Fiverr. And if you've ever tried to hire a creative person on Upwork and Fiverr before, you'd know that it's like finding a needle in a haystack, trying to find someone good. And so considering how many marketplaces we have for literally everything that you can think of, from like pet sitters all the way through to hiring a cleaner, how is it possible that we don't have one for the creative space, and especially one that's tailored for the creator economy? So a lot of what we do, we work with some of the biggest creators out there to help them hire, whether it's their first employee, first team member, all the way through to expanding their team and scaling up their business. We work with a lot of creators, but then also we have some brands and companies coming along if they're trying to hire people to help out with producing content for social media. So if that's your end goal, then we'll be able to help you out.
That's really cool. And on the creator side, is it just Singapore or anywhere?
Anywhere, actually. Most of our creators are very heavy US, UK based right now. But I'll give you an example. So the creatives that we have on the platform, so the people providing services, our minimum threshold for everyone is they need to have worked for an established creator before, which we defined as 100,000 subscribers or followers and above. So everyone is familiar with the turnaround time, the pace, the everything that has to do with creating social content that has a chance at going viral. So, for example, some of you guys might know Dude Perfect, Wong Fu Productions, Ali Abdal, all of their behind-the-scenes teams are already on our platform. So let's say you're a creator and you love Eric's videos, and of course, why would I not want to hire his video editor if he's available? Or if I need a scriptwriter, why would I not hire the scriptwriter for someone who's got 5 million subscribers already? So where do you go to discover all of these amazing, talented people? Because right now, most of them just have a portfolio page built on Squarespace or Wix. Those things would never rank high enough on Google for it to be searchable. So, and a lot of them don't also live on LinkedIn either. So is there a way to centralize and aggregate everyone that's very talented in the same platform and make it accessible, where we handle all the payments, cross-border payments, all the legal compliance stuff? You don't have to worry about any of those because, as you guys know, a lot of creators also don't have incorporated companies, so they can't actually put anyone on payroll either. How do you simplify all of that? We do that end to end.
And suppliers can be anywhere as well.
Exactly. Oftentimes, some of the biggest creators out there prefer to hire, let's say, a podcast or video editor that's on the other side of the world, because you can go to bed sending your raw footage to someone and wake up potentially to a new cut already. So you can take advantage of the time zone differences, and a lot of creators are doing that right now.
And I know I asked you this question yesterday, but how old are you now?
Old enough.
No, I don't mean you. I mean the company.
The company. The company is actually very new. We just started this year, but we've already worked with some of the, some really exciting creators and brands. So if you are someone who's looking to hire, whether it's production help or you're a creator looking for an independent manager because you're trying to move away from, let's say, your talent agency and you want to bring someone in-house, those are all things that we can help with.
Okay, so here's a real brief and how to understand how it works. As I said, that last session on podcasting was awesome, and with all the experience I've been listening to about the podcast market in the last 2 weeks, I'm thinking I've got thousands of hours of video on YouTube and Twitch for stuff that we've done for the last 20 years, which I think is podcast material. In some cases, could actually be more relevant as a podcast than video. Do people watch 45-minute sessions on video anymore when they're not working from home? Would I come to... Now, I need to transfer all this video to audio. Would I come to you?
Absolutely. It's actually probably one of the most common ones that we hear of, whether you're a brand, a company, or an individual starting your own podcast. A lot of the times, actually, most people who have a podcast are actually filming a video podcast, right? They're filming the behind the scenes. So you've actually got, let's say, an hour of footage. What a good editor should be able to do is to create multiple pieces of derivative content from that. So 1 hour of footage, you trim it down to a Spotify episode, podcast, 30 minutes, but then also you should be slicing and dicing that into 10 TikTok videos or reels, make another format one by one for LinkedIn. A good editor would be able to suggest certain parts for you to slice out as those shorter bite-sized pieces of content. So usually when people have all this footage, what they would do is they'll come to us. Right now we're in the midst of sort of making it a little more self-service so that you can just discover and hire whoever you want. But some of the questions during the registration process that we'll ask you is, if you've already got a podcast going on, what are some of your favorite past episodes that you've done yourself, so we can understand, okay, this is the caliber that you're expecting to churn out. But one of the other questions we'll ask is, what's a podcast or a creator that you really respect and really admire, so that we know what your aspirational goal is. So your editor shouldn't just be someone that's really just hammering out these episodes week by week. You should actually be working towards something that's a little more aspirational. So a good editor should be able to work with you to do that. And ideally, actually, everyone that's running our platform are already working full-time in their respective fields. So if they're a scriptwriter, they're doing it full-time. So that hopefully solves the problem of high turnover as well, because sometimes on Upwork and Fiverr, you hire someone or you hire an intern. When exam season comes around, they're not available, then you need to go back to square one and finding a new talent to hire. We want to just remove all of that headache and provide a little more consistency and skill set and know-how to all our creators and brands that are hiring.
And just as a reminder, it's not just about podcasting. I'm just bringing that up because I've been inspired, that's all. But and what's the business model? That's a definite question I'm asking for a friend.
Absolutely, for a friend. So right now, we actually, very similar to most marketplaces, we have a transaction fee that we charge. The transaction fee actually goes into also us covering all the cross-border payment fees. So instead of you having to pay your PayPal fees, we'll take care of all of that. Everything related to legal and any contracts, anything related to IP or NDAs, or you need a retainer, we'll deal with all of that for you. So a lot of what we're trying to do is just, how do we make it as simple and smooth as possible for all the creators that are trying to hire?
So, and okay, I guess the final question then is, why?
Why what?
Why don't I just hire a team?
You should be able to hire a team. That's the whole purpose. A lot of the times, I think, like I said, a lot of creators don't have the bandwidth and the capability yet to hire someone on payroll, a full-time employee. Obviously, that's the eventual goal, is just to have someone in-house. When you get to that point where you're scaling, let's say you just hit 50K or 100K subscribers or listeners, how do you start churning it out? Like Timmy said earlier, if you're a podcaster, you should be doing at least once a week episodes. If you've ever tried even filming a podcast, or you're a YouTuber, I film YouTube videos myself, it is not humanly possible to do it yourself. If I'm filming all day on Monday, Tuesday to Sunday, I'm editing, I have to upload again on Monday, I don't even have the bandwidth and the mental capacity to think about what else do I want to film next. Your time is better spent strategizing and brainstorming and storyboarding the next thing that you should be posting, and also strategizing how do you disperse one piece of content onto the 18 million platforms that we have out there that we're expected to all be active on now. A creator is never just a YouTuber, never just a TikToker. You're on at least 5 different platforms. So the opportunity cost of you spending all that time doing the actual script writing or the actual editing yourself, it doesn't add up when you get to the point of trying to scale. So we were trying to be there along every step of the way. And there's actually a very natural progression for hiring as well. Most creators usually start, their first role that they always hire is always an editor, because that's usually one of the most time-consuming tasks to do. Finding a good editor usually is followed by, you want a thumbnail designer to start optimizing and tweaking and A/B testing your thumbnails and A/B testing your video titles. You might bring on board a channel producer, a community manager, and usually that team grows larger and larger. And I always talk to some creators, a lot of the times the pinnacle of hiring for a lot of creators is when they bring in a COO or a CEO, because before they know it, after a year or two, they've grown their team into this massive, basically media company, and they realize there's so much back-end ops that they need to handle that they don't really want to deal with because they like the creative side. So a lot of the times they end up hiring someone to come help manage the team, and you see this with some of the biggest YouTubers out there. Mr. Beast has an ideation strategy team. These jobs never even existed 5 years ago. This team, their sole purpose is to keyword search, look at what's trending, brainstorm new video ideas, have some data analytical approach to it. That's an entirely new job segment that never even existed. So you don't really expect to see these types of talent aggregated in one place right now. So hopefully we can be the infrastructure where they can live in this home together.
Fantastic. So the obvious thing is rather than hiring at your own team, come to Editorof. Get the best in the business, and obviously, well, hopefully, my friend, when he creates all the podcasts, will be able to get the best in the business without having to bring them on in-house the whole time. So that's great. We're out of time. Sherry, thank you so much for joining us again, and good luck with Editorof.
Thank you.
First birthday in December.
Yes.
Brilliant. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Sherry Wong.
Awesome. Thank you.